easier to work when it's really bad. It's easier because people are not, they don't have time to kill you as a photographer, you know? They're concentrating on the enemies, so it's easier for us. But at the same time, when it's shooting absolutely everywhere, you have to be very careful just of the last bullet, you know. You have two things which are important, is first, to stay alive, and second, to have pictures, to get pictures. Sometimes also for some, you know, some of us the balance moves and it's more important to get pictures than to stay alive, which is not good.
I am French and I live in Paris on my own. Ever since I can remember, I've always been independent. I'm an only child, I'm not married, and I have no kids. When asked if there's a reason for my independence, not to say solitude, I used to shrug my shoulders and say a little vaguely, perhaps destiny. Of course, being a war photographer hasn't exactly been conducive to building a family life, even though I've had plenty of opportunities, I tell you. I'm 40, but only now do I realize that I have spent the last 10 years recovering from a secret trauma. The events of recent months have helped me come to terms with it, and I will tell you about it later. Photographs of my beloved horse, Bibou, adorn my elegant Parisian flat. I'm often away, but when I return there are friends who visit this place. My glamorous mum lives nearby.
Let's see. Oh, my mom singing at the Comte de Sable. Well, I don't see her very much, even so we are so close to each other. She's a very busy girl, you know.
When I was small, I hardly saw her. She was a modern woman, I guess, an actress and a singer. Her engagements took her to foreign countries in the way that mine take me away too.
I was always thinking that she chose a very strange job for a girl. It's a job for a man, especially pictures. I think she took much more risk doing pictures than writing, certainly. And she loved that, in a way. She loved that. I think probably more risk she took, happier she was inside.
All wars are different, but they're all the same. Shooting, suffering, pain, and danger. I can't remember how many wars and unrest I've been to. The Gulf War and the Middle East. Africa. Civil wars in Romania and Yugoslavia. I was really good. I had scoops, front pages, photojournalist awards. I thought I was doing pretty well.
I think it's a kind of job who gives you hard. You have to be hard to do that. And then after that, when in the normal life, maybe you keep that hardness with you, I suppose. Do I say something silly?
No.
Or am I right?
No, it's true.
You had to be hard to do that.
The problem is you never want to tell when you come back. No, because you've been living that, so you don't want to be back home, and you just want to close, you know, to shut that door. You don't want to keep thinking about it when you're back in Paris.
Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. A feature film is being shot here. I am the photographer on the set of this film. A little strange, you might think, for a war photographer, but there is a reason for it. The film is loosely based on a novel which I wrote after my experiences in the '91 Croatian War. It is directed by a French director, Elie Chouraki.
It's important that you start on her, because she's going to...
An American film star, Andy McDowell, plays the lead. I think I sort of threw up, you know, everything on the page. So it went really quickly, but then when it was finished, it's like looking back, you know. I never really wanted to look back. In my novel, a female war photographer called Babi is fascinated by the war, just like I was.
He was obsessed by war, sadness, and suffering. She could burst into laughter after working, that was incapable of photographing joy or sunshine. She seemed to take physical pleasure in kneeling in mud, to look on illness, to capture filth. She appeared to be on the side of those in her viewfinder, exhilarated by revolutions, exhausted during famines, feverish and determined during wars. She worked by instinct and photographed what she felt.
Everybody has to look good. The actors, you know, have to look good, because if they don't want the picture.
The faster you go, because we feel the emergency. We feel that you are freaking out and that you want to go away from here.
When you have finally a good picture on the contacts, you know, on you, with the loop, and then you can see one good picture, you're like, oh, thank God, I did it. Portraits of Andy. I don't like that one too much. I don't like that one very much. And Andy. She's so easy to photograph. I mean, she's so photogenic. This is Andy at Newsweek office. That's one of my pictures. And she's speaking with her husband on the phone. It's all in the same sequence. It's very difficult because as a still photographer, you're not choosing your light, you're not choosing anything, you're barely choosing your angle. You know, you have to be where the camera is. And so you're taking pictures, but it's not really your pictures. It's very strange.
Come on, guys. I saw that in the book there was something. So So we try to work on it to make a film. Because I thought, let's do a film. Let's prove that people can be interested by that kind of movie. And it didn't work. I mean, we worked about 3-4 months together, and it didn't work because it didn't come. I don't know why.
I think I know why. My alter ego, the fictional Baby, was not a particularly likable character.
I hate editing.
Stubborn, passionate about her profession to the point of being self-destructive. Yes, maybe I was like this all these years ago, and the cinema audiences don't like difficult women. I'm not sure if people really think about what it is to take war photographs. Probably nobody cares. But when people do talk about war photography, they don't seem to understand. The war photographer doesn't just go to war for humanitarian reasons. You go there because it's fun. You go there because it's exciting. It's life on the edge. The adrenaline keeps pumping in, and you might get wonderful pictures that really matter, right? Pictures about life and death. My adventures in the 91 Gulf War show how I often did what no man dared to do.
And suddenly a Scud fell right in the middle of the village. So we took the pictures, and the American soldiers ran after us and said, "You're not allowed to take pictures." He took us to the headquarters in his car. And in the car, I said to Tony, I said, "Give me your films." And I took his roll and I put it in my bra on the right side, and I took my films and I put them on the left side. And the guy said, "Well, okay, I'll have to search you." And I said, "You have children, don't you?" And he said, "Yeah, I've got 2 children." And I said, "Me too." And I swear on my children's that I don't have any films. Now you're not going to touch me because I give you my word, and I give you my word on my children's. and then the guy said, "Oh, miss, so okay, so you swear it?" And I said, "Yeah, I swear, I'll give you my words, you know." And he said, "Okay, fine, you can go." Then I ran back to the hotel, processed my film, and wired the picture to the Independent. And the next day it was like front page on 8 columns.
Okay, so I lied. All's fair in love and war, right?
But the most important for me at that moment was to get my pictures, and certainly not to give my roles to that guy. I would have sold my my soul just to get my pictures, because it was too difficult to get good pictures.
There are many similarities between feature film and the war.
As long as you're working and as long as you're keeping your eye behind a camera, you're sort of protected. You're protected. And it's so strange to see all the made-up people.
People work long hours with no thought as to how that might affect their lives or health. There are long moments where nothing happens and then everything goes completely mad. On the other hand, these extras are not dead. They are made up by our marvelous makeup artist and dressed by our elegant costume designer.
See, my only experience with war is like this, make-believe, playtime.
Lucky man.
Yeah.
Yes, there are similarities between war and feature film, but the differences are staggering. On the set, I also have the job of being technical advisor to the actors, teaching them how to be a war photographer.
And someone you would just, and it's a habit to really and focus and then you change and then put another one on it, which is easier to use.
Yeah. So you seem to be running for our lives here.
Yeah, but still, you take pictures.
Oh yeah, I take
Because
pictures.
if you're risking your life with no pictures.
That's the reason, yeah. No, that's what
Because Isabel is in a way is mad. Yes, she did what she did because she's mad. I mean, to be a young lady, she's very pretty, and to choose war instead of everything that world offer to you. Well, you can have a reflection about that.
My parents. Oh, that's my parents. He was so tall. This is why I'm tall. She's tiny, and he was not. He was very special, original. I would say he was an original.
My parents divorced when I was 3, and I was sent to a boarding school when I was very young, 7, maybe 8. Some people might say that was a little early. I actually rather liked it. The whole experience made me more independent, I guess.
She never told me anything. That's right, Isabel? Mm-hmm. She's pretty hard to know her very well, even for her mother. I think the friends she has know her much more than me.
I love cooking for people I care for. I enjoy intimate suppers when I can really spoil them.
I cooked chicken, preparing some cream to go with the caviar because I had to find something really attractive to have friends on Friday evening after work. So they're gonna try the Czech caviar.
It's fun to pay attention to domestic detail, but only for a short time.
Lots of films. A bit of food. Films. This is supposed to be for the vegetables. There's films in it. Cigarettes. Spoons for the caviar. There's a lot of it, but it's so bad. It's so awful. Okay. Now. Okay. Oui. I don't think it's always easy to be my friend. Because I'm moody, I'm not easy. I'm very moody, so sometimes you just have to be brave to keep loving me. and
Toi, je t'embrasse jamais. Je sais pas pourquoi je t'embrasse.
Bonsoir.
Ça va?
Bonsoir, bonsoir.
Mes boots, c'est pratiquement les mêmes que les tiennes.
We can spend hours gossiping, and we can feel cozy and comfortable.
Attends, tu sais que quand
Ce qui m'intéressait, c'est moi, Isabelle.
But then, in the middle of one of these elegant Parisian dinner parties, I suddenly feel the old yearning and I want to go back. War photography is like a drug. Maybe it's not good for you, but it's difficult to live without.
Attends, tu sais que quand
morning before the shoot. It's 4 a.m.
Friends of mine called me from Paris saying, okay, we're leaving to Chechnya, and I was a bit jealous. I always put makeup. Even if I don't even have time to eat, I always try just to remind myself I'm a woman. You know, it's important sometimes. I think we're ready to go. Cigarettes? Yeah, I've got everything.
Of course, I'm not going to Chechnya. I'm going to the film set.
That was the set where we're gonna have the Vukovar hospital. Was 3 weeks ago. Was the Pritzer toilets, men's room.
Ok, so stand by, everybody, please, stand by.
Qui c'è torna nelle quartieri spagnoli.
Com'è calda?
Adesso sì.
Ok, across here.
Sì, è caldina, tipidina, però fa schifo.
Veramente cagato. Look. Allez, behind the car, please, everybody. There.
I just want to be in my bed. I want to get rid of all that smoke, you know, we have, all that dirt. I want to wear a skirt, real shoes, you know. I want to stop looking like an egg. I want to be back home. I want to be warm and made up and clean. And usually I don't care. I just don't care. Usually I say that after, 6 months of war. Like after 7 months in the Gulf, I was begging, like, I want to be a normal woman. And today I'm begging after 9 weeks. Getting old. $5 hours for a bloody picture. It's like when it's a war, you can wait, you wait much more than that. But it's important, it's vital, Somebody's gonna kill somebody else, somebody's gonna die, and you're gonna be there for the picture. Those are still the children in Romania. This is the way they were eating, fighting to get some food. It was so depressing when those kids, There's one of them who just died a few minutes after I took the pictures of him. That one, he died. That little boy, he was dying when I took the picture, and see that just laying down, they're so weak. It was his last moment.
My pictures of Romanian orphans did make a difference. Photographs were published in a British journal, Granta, and made quite a splash. People wanted to help these children.
When I was taking these pictures, I was just thinking, which is awful, I was just thinking, wow, this is awful, and this is going to be good pictures. Oh, this is awful. What I'm saying is terrible. What I'm saying is terrible. always easy to take pictures of suffering people. After, the way you you try to fall asleep, I mean, then you know, it goes back to your mind, and you keep seeing those people when you close your eyes. And now it's a lot of people that I'm seeing, you know. Because I don't have that much nightmares. Well, anyway, I'm taking so much sleeping pills, I don't see how I could have nightmares. And then you have to wake up. So what do? You take sort of wake-up pills, because you're playing with your life. You have to be awake. You can't be sleepy, you know, when they're fighting. No way. This is my medicine. Usually when people see that, they're very, they feel very sad for me. Vitamin, Guronzan. This is to, you know, when it's difficult to wake up. This sort of mix of caffeine and vitamin C, whatever. And, you know, lots of things for my headaches. I've got migraine and oh, the sleeping tablets are in my room. Near my bed, which is logical.
I've been doing a kind of social photography. I go on assignments when my agency finds me interesting work to do. Here's one, another kind of war, the oil spillage. In France, the new millennium began with a terrible act of God. Violent storms made an oil tanker sink, releasing some 20,000 tons of its cargo onto 250 miles of France's Atlantic beaches. I go there to document the work of the rescue workers and show the extent of the damage. The big problem for me is climbing rocks and descending into an abyss to get these pictures. Get me a good war anytime. At least you don't have time to worry about whether your cameras get dirty or not.
Oh, shh.
Restez longtemps les filles.
President Chirac visits the site to show his concern. A media circus follows. Not my scene at all. It's not going to be good pictures, but you have to. I mean, if you're around, you just have to do it. So, I'm doing it.
When I started as a photographer, there were only men around me. I was working hard, and I was working as much as the guys, and I was taking as good pictures as them. So the balance came just naturally. I'm not going to fight again for that. You know, I've done it 15 years ago. When I got to the point that finally men were seeing me like one of them, I thought, oh, so this is it?
Not one good picture. Really, waste of time, waste of energy, waste of films. The story of Ellie's film, Harrison's Flowers, is quite different from the book. Andy McDowell's character, Sarah, is based neither on myself nor on Babby, the main character in my novel.
I don't know, one day I changed everything. I say, okay, she's not anymore photo reporter, she's a woman at home with 2 children. Her husband is a photo reporter. And we tell the story of a fish out of the water, of somebody who doesn't know anything about the war, who goes there because she loves her husband and she wants to find him, and suddenly the story becomes interesting.
It was on Tiananmen Square. And I just made a mistake. I flashed. You know, I forgot I had my flash on my camera. And the Chinese army was walking in the streets like the 24th Army or whatever. And that flash went like in the middle of the night. So the guy saw me. I was hiding on the side of the road. And they just saw me. And 2 minutes later, when they started to shoot on their own, you know, the people were just marching like this. And suddenly the army started to shoot. And the guy who was just in front of me got hit. And I don't know what happened. The bullet went through and just hit my hand, that hand. So I was like this. I mean, that was really not brilliant.
And who was the guy that was in front of you?
A Chinese, a student.
And what happened to him when he got shot?
He was dead.
To get a scoop, and somebody died. I went on shooting for 3 weeks with a damaged hand. Is there an element of a mercenary soldier in a war photographer? You might wonder. In the end, I don't think so. Somebody has to take these pictures, or else you don't know what is going on in the world.
How can you justify continuing to risk your life in this way? The dreadful reality of it.
I don't have much to lose.
I'm off to lunch with an old friend, Marine Jacquemin, the chief reporter for TF1. Maryse is a veteran of war reporting. Usually we gossip and plan another adventure. Not this time.
I mean, the conversation, our life are going on the same way. And we are still like that. I tell you the news, the big news in my life. I decided to quit wars. I mean, 15 years at war, it's finished.
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
War and war, after war. I thought a lot about this, and Kosovo disgusts me, and Chechnya, I mean, it was too much for me. It's time to end. It's time to end. It was good. We have fun. We have fun. 15 years. We're still there. Yeah. You believe that? So many people have been killed around us. So many journalists have been killed. We never talk about it. I couldn't talk about it before because it was so secret. But now I need to talk. I need to evacuate this life. I mean, 15 years, Isabel. Stop. Stop.
It's true that after a while you just think I'm still alive and maybe I should quit while I'm still alive, you know. It's no use to die for a picture that nobody will care about anyway, who might not even be published.
It's a job you don't leave easily, I suppose. Any other kind of job looks boring compared to that. Certainly, isn't it?
We just had lunch with Marine.
Oh, Marine.
Marine Jacquemin.
My God, Marine. She was in the worst place. You were not there. You were over there in Prague.
Yeah,
I've seen her here and there and here and there. Oh, Marine, pauvre Marine.
She was saying that she's been to Chechnya. She wants to quit. She just said at lunch, I'm quitting. After 15 years.
And she did? Really?
Well, she's doing it now. She's doing it now.
Well, she would be on welfare, looking for a job. She's well known. She's much appreciated, I think. She can find something else.
I think she shall go back to war. And she's a bit. She needs a break, but she'll go on.
Maybe she has a little breakdown.
Girls are so important.
So it's off to Prague again. I have tried to look at the whole experience of being involved in a feature film as an exciting adventure, but the truth is, Harrison's Flowers is a story inspired by my novel and my life, and it does bring back some painful memories. And so I'm back in Yugoslavia and that war.
The second half of the book is half here and half in Vukovar. So I'm back in the nightmare. The first time I came onto that location with no lights and no technicians, and yeah, it was like almost like being back in this hotel in Osijek.
It was September 1991. I was convinced I would die and had few regrets. It was only a question of hours and minutes, but I wouldn't see tomorrow, yet I was calm. For years I'd waited for this moment. I lived for the day when I would no longer have to lie. But the war tricked me. For the first time, I saw it for the ugliness that it was.
In Harrison's Flowers, Sarah goes on a quest to find her husband, a war photographer who's lost in Croatia. That quest takes her to Vukovar. I was there too.
And Vukovar was terrible. I mean, it was, there were dead bodies everywhere. There were burned animals on the side of the roads. I mean, you couldn't hear even a bird, singing anymore. I didn't take that many pictures because in my mind I was tired. And I think we all realized that war wasn't only having fun or getting into the danger, being excited by the danger. I mean, this was totally different. I mean, it was like total madness, People were crazy everywhere.
The fact is, I wasn't in Vukovar as a photographer. I was there to find the man I loved. I guess it's time to tell that story. I had a relationship, a passionate affair with a fellow photographer. We had been together for a few years. We shared a passion for the war and for each other. We had just begun talking about settling down together. What happened during the Croatian War was that we got separated. I wasn't sure where he was, but heard that he may have been at the Vukovar hospital, wounded. I was frantic. I knew immediately I had to go looking for him, whatever the risk. I went on a long, dangerous journey from Zagreb to Vukovar. I did risk my life, just like in a movie. I was sure I'd find him, and I did.
I got to the hospital and I found my boyfriend, and at that precise moment they start fighting again, heavy fighting. In every different place in Croatia, hospitals just looked the same, you know, with wounded people, very badly wounded people with no more medicine, yelling people because we couldn't give them anything to for the pains, killer pain. So no, I was used to it. I mean, it was to get into the hospital had only one purpose, which was to get my boyfriend out. I think what was really painful about Vukovar was that we knew that the people who couldn't move inside the hospital would be killed. And that's precisely what happened. When the Serbs got into the city, they killed all the wounded people inside the hospital. And we knew it. So when we got into the hospital, looking at these people, we just knew that the one who could not escape, who would, you know, be too much wounded to move, would be killed. I mean, we knew it. And that's exactly what happened. And I found my boyfriend, and he was with a young Yugoslavian who was a translator. They've been in that ambush together, and she had probably saved his life, and she took him to the hospital in Vukovar. She helped him because he was wounded.
I wasn't sure what was the relationship between my boyfriend and the Croatian girl, but he begged me to arrange the escape for both of them. Had I left her behind, she would have died, so I rescued both of them.
He had fallen in love with someone else by the time that happens. That happens.
The man I really loved betrayed me. These things happen all the time, of course. It's still heartbreaking when it happens to you.
Part of me died in Vukovar, and lots of people died in Vukovar. The city died. I mean, the Croatian War died in Vukovar. My love died in Vukovar. I mean, everything just ended in Vukovar.
It will be a sunny, nice day.
My ex-lover married his Croatian girlfriend. They're still together. They have children now, I believe. It was 9 years ago. I have never quite trusted anybody since.
We have champagne on the stage. It's a wrap!
The 10 weeks on the set of the feature film made me remember it all over again. I suppose I had felt disappointed that my novel's storyline had been changed. On the other hand, it's kind of fun to observe how somebody else rewrites my history. Andy McDowell's performance as Sarah was very impressive. The whole crew have felt like one big family. And then it all came to an end. The shoot was over. everybody will be going back home.
Oh, it's been so good. It's been really great.
I will be going back to Paris. I look forward to riding my horse again.
I returned to the emptiness. There was no longer a war between him and me. We needed so much violence and hate and death to make us love. We were wrong.
Even Ellsen is angry around here. Who knows why?
I returned to Paris and went off to other wars to check out if they were all the same. You detox slowly, or you go crazy.
Okay.
For this film,
Now.
this documentary about my life,
Now I have 10 seconds.
I've been asked to take a picture of myself.
Okay.
A self-portrait, which might sum me up.
Oh.
This is not an easy task.
I want to be happy. You know, if I look back, I think the past 20 years just went like so quick, you know. I just didn't have time for nothing. I wish I could have only eyes. No nose and no mouth. I don't think I had time to love properly someone the way someone should be loved. I didn't have time to have children. And now I'm trying to do both. I think before I was only trying to work. I only wanted to work. Now I want to work and I want to be happy. But also, I mean, I want to take more and more pictures, and I want to be a better photographer. I want to improve, and I'm still looking for that picture, you know? I'm still looking for it. I'm still working on it. So I can wait for nothing.
She was a modern woman, I guess, an actress and a singer. Her engagements took her to foreign countries in the way that mine take me away too.
I was always thinking that she chose a very strange job for a girl. It's a job for a man, especially pictures. I think she took much more risk doing pictures than writing. Certainly. And she loved that, in a way. She loved that. I think probably more risk she took, happier she was inside.
All wars are different, but they're all the same. Shooting, suffering, pain, and danger. can't remember how many wars and unrest I've been to. The Gulf War and the Middle East.
I think it's easier to work when it's really bad. It's easier because people are not, they don't have time to kill you as a photographer, you know? They're concentrating on the enemies, so it's easier for us. But at the same time, when it's shooting absolutely everywhere, you have to be very careful just of the last bullet, you know. You have two things which are important, is first, to stay alive, and second, to have pictures, to get pictures. Sometimes also for some, you know, some of us the balance moves and it's more important to get pictures than to stay alive, which is not good.
I am French and I live in Paris on my own. Africa. Civil wars in Romania and Yugoslavia. I was really good. I had scoops, front pages, photojournalist awards. I thought I was doing pretty well.
I think it's a kind of job who gives you heart. You have to be hard to do that. And then after that, when in the normal life, maybe you keep that harness with you, I suppose. Do I say something silly?
No.
Or am I right?
No, it's true.
You had to be hard to do that.
The problem is you never want to tell when you come back. No, because you've been living that, so you don't want to be back home, and you just want to close, you know, to shut that door. You don't want to keep thinking about it when you're back in Paris.
Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic. Ever since I can remember, I've always been independent. I'm an only child, I'm not married, and I have no kids. When asked if there's a reason for my independence, not to say solitude, I used to shrug my shoulders and say, a little vaguely, perhaps destiny. Of course, being a war photographer hasn't exactly been conducive to building a family life, even though I've had plenty of opportunities, I tell you. I'm 40, but only now do I realize that I have spent the last 10 years recovering from a secret trauma. The events of recent months have helped me come to terms with it, and I will tell you about it later. Photographs of my beloved horse, Bibou, adorn my elegant Parisian flat. I'm often away, but when I return there are friends who visit this place. My glamorous mum lives nearby.
Oh, let's see. Oh, my mom singing at the Comte de Sable.
Well, I don't see her very much, even so we are so close to each other. She's a very busy girl, you know.
When I was small, I hardly saw her. A feature film is being shot here. I am the photographer on the set of this film. A little strange, you might think, for a war photographer, but there is a reason for it. The film is loosely based on a novel which I wrote after my experiences in the '91 Croatian War. It is directed by a French director, Elie Chouraki.
It's important that you start on her, because she's gonna...
An American film star, Andy McDowell, plays the lead.
I think I sort of threw up, everything on the page. So it went really quickly, but then when it was finished, it's like looking back, I never really wanted to look back.
In my novel, a female war photographer called Babi is fascinated by the war, just like I was.
He was obsessed by war, sadness, and suffering.